Let's see, since we're on the 4-point analysis, I thought we could recite the Heart Sutra, and that is on page 76. And so we'll chant that, and it'll go all the way to extensive dispelling the hindrances on page 81 in the Gold Prayer Book. So it's 76 to 81. The Heart of the Perfection Wisdom Sutra. I prostrate to the Arya Triple Gem. Thus did I hear at one time. The Bhagawan was dwelling on massive Vulture's Mountain in Rajagriha, together with a great community of monks and a great community of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Bhagawan was absorbed in the concentration on the categories of phenomena called profound perception. Also at that time, the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Arya, Avalokiteshvara looked upon the very practice of the profound perfection wisdom and beheld those 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Then through the power of Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said this to the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Arya, Avalokiteshvara. How should any son of the lineage train who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom? He said that, and the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Arya, Avalokiteshvara said this to the Venerable Shariputra. Shariputra, any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom should look upon it like this, correctly and repeatedly, beholding those 5 aggregates also as an empty of inherent nature. Form is empty. Emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form. Form is also not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, likewise, all phenomena are emptiness, without characteristic, unproduced, unceased, stainless, not without stain, not deficient, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no compositional factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visual form, no sound, no odor, no taste, no object of touch, and no phenomenon. There is no I element, and so on up to and including no mind element, and no mental consciousness element. There is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, and so on up to and including no aging and death, and no extinction of aging and death. Similarly, there is no suffering, origination, cessation, and path. There is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Shariputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and dwell in the perfection of wisdom, the mind without obscuration and without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, they reach the end point of nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in the 3 times also manifestly, completely awaken to unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment in reliance on the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the mantra equal to the unequaled, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering, should be known as truth, since it is not false. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is declared, Teata Om Gate Gate Para Gate Para Sam Gate Bodhi Soha. Shariputra, the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, should train in the profound perfection of wisdom like that. Then the Bhagawan arose from that concentration and commended the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Arya, Avalokiteshvara, saying, well said, son of the lineage. It is like that. It is like that. One should practice the profound perfection of wisdom, just as you have indicated. Even the Tathagatas rejoice. The Bhagawan, having thus spoken, the Venerable Shariputra, the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Arya, Avalokiteshvara, and those surrounding in their entirety, along with the world of gods, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas, were overjoyed and highly praised that spoken by the Bhagawan. This completes the Arya Bhagavati Prajnaparamita Hridaya Sutra. And now the extensive dispelling of hindrances according to the Heart Sutra. I and all surrounding sentient beings go for refuge to the Buddha, go for refuge to the Dharma, go for refuge to the Sangha. We prostrate to the Great Mother Prajnaparamita, wisdom gone beyond. Surrounded by all the children and by the assemblies of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions. By depending on my prostrations to all of you, may these words of truth be actualized. In the past, the Deva King Indra dispelled the Maras, evil beings, by reflecting on the profound meaning of the wisdom gone beyond and reciting the profound words in daily recitation. In that same way, I also reflect on the profound meaning of the Great Mother Prajnaparamita and recite the profound words in daily recitation. May all diseases, spirit possessions, bad conditions, all the negative directions, that which happens due to past karma and immediate conditions, may all this be dispelled, may it become non-existent, may it be pacified. Thank you. So when Geshe-la comes, we'll start on page 27 with the 7th in prayer. In the Gold Prayer Book, turn to page 27. 27, and we'll chant the Seven Limb Prayer. Gosum gupe gone chatzelo ngesham yitu choti malubu tomene saditun tam cheshag kepa gewa nam la jeiram korwa matam bardule june drola cheki kolo korwadang da jengena janchu chen pongo. Now turn to page 97. And we'll chant the short mandala offering at the bottom of the page. Saji perki shushing meto tamri rablinshi nite genpadi sangye shingdu mikte uwa idro kunam dag shingna chirpashok jetsun lama Dampa Yenam Kichur Kukala Kiense Jujintri Jitat Sampit Dujet Laja Gercherki Chalpa Waptusud Idam Guru Ratanadalakam Niryatayami Judan Soki Jonam La Janchu Badu Dani Kapsuchi Tagi Chunyangi Pesernam Gi Dola Penchur Sangye Tupasho Judan Soki Jonam La Janchu Badu Dani Kapsuchi Dagi Chunyangi Pesernam Gi Dola Penchur Sangye Tupasho Judan Soki Chonam La Janchu Badu Dani Kapsuchi Dagi Chunyangi Pesernam Gi Dola Penchur Sangye Tupasho
Good evening. Today there's no chugila. Oh. So we've been studying emptiness. This is your first time here, class? First time? So I just wanted you to know because this is like ongoing class, emptiness. Basically, important part of the Buddhist teachings. Karma. No, that's one part of the Buddhist, important part of the Buddhist teachings. Then here, emptiness. So mainly, according to Buddhism's, all the problems, all root of all the problems is ignorance. Ignorance. Okay. So I just want to give you a little bit head up. How do you say head up? Heads up. Okay. Head up or heads up? Head up or heads up. So in Buddhism, it's very, very important to, how you say, what you call like self-grasping mind, the mind that grasps very tightly on self, So first we become attached to self, according to one of the Indian masters, very famous Indian master called Chandakriti, wrote this text, entering into the middle way. I think already translated in English. So after the homage, so beginning of the text, then you say Tambu Ngashe Dala Shinchuchis. At the beginning, right from the beginning, we become attached to ourselves. Then from there, so then we say my possession, my religion, my tradition, my culture, my family, all of that. So according to emptiness teachings, the self-grasping mind is like iron cage. So that mind that grasping so tightly on the self, most of the time, we don't have any clue. We don't have any clue how you define self, So that's important. Okay, just want to give you head up. So meditation on emptiness is like analyzing our experience of self. How would you define self? Is the body, is the mind, or is what? Is the five aggregate, or what it is? So, especially, like we experience the self, that kind of self that we experience most of the time, till we see emptiness. It's like almost like something independent, concrete, solid, which doesn't exist at all. Especially when we get upset, when we get so excited, so happy, so if somebody is screaming at you, yelling at you, so then like, how dare you talk to me like that? Like that at that moment we don't analyze. If we analyze, so then that moment the experience of self, that self is something very solid, concrete. It's not just level. It's just level based on aggregate and the five aggregate in the mind. It's like totally independent from body and mind, so which doesn't exist. So according to emptiness teachings, that's the root of all the problems, all the problems. So. Not maybe somehow it's like all the problems are linked to that directly or indirectly. Most of them linked to that indirectly, indirectly linked to that. So that's why it's called iron cage. Danzi chaji type of buzusu. Mari muve maja kunete muve. So that's how, according to emptiness teaching, that's how all kind of problems that people are experiencing, all kind of problems. Since according to Buddhism, since from beginningless time, there's no beginning, right? There's consciousness, there's body. When we die, it will be cremated, but there's something goes on. According to Buddhism, it's called consciousness. I think Hinduism they call Atma. So then I think Christianity they call soul. So basically something that goes on, that's called consciousness. So then consciousness has no beginning. It's like, so then all kinds of problems, occur due to that, ignorance. So now this is the second part of the teachings, how to do meditation on emptiness. Okay, how to do meditation on emptiness. The first part is like identifying the object object of negations. There's something needs to be negated in order to see emptiness. Everything, not just self, everything else. Naturally, right from the beginning, it is like it exists based on cause and condition. That's not how we see things. We see something that's from their side. That's not how it exists. It exists totally depending on cause and conditions. It's not like same like very close friends. A person we consider as an enemy. That's not such a solid enemy. It's just cause depending on cause and conditions. The cause and condition constantly change. Today's best friend, tomorrow become worst enemy because of a few unguarded words. So the relationship is finished, is over. So that's based on cause and condition. It's not like right from the beginning somebody's destiny considered as an enemy. So now the example that that I think is easy way. There's no easy way to explain. Emptiness is very difficult subject. So now here this 4-point analysis how to do meditation on emptiness. The benefit is to cut the root of all the problems. That's the goal. Goal is to cut the root of all the problems. Means liberate, then achieve nirvana, highest level of happiness. Nirvana, what you call moksha in Sanskrit, or nirvana is a Sanskrit word, nirvana. So in Tibetan we say tarba, that means liberation. So tarba. So when we achieve that, so then no more problems. Then there's no aging, no sicknesses, no death, nothing. It's everything's over now. Because of sicknesses, death, aging, all of that, caused by ignorance. Ignorance means not knowing how self, what is self, not knowing what is self. Okay, so that's so far we cover. Okay, the first out of 4-point analysis, first one is to identifying the object of negations. So in order to identify the room is free of elephant or not. If you have no clue about elephant, you cannot really tell. In order to understand the rooms that's free of elephant, you have to know elephant first. You have to have some knowledge of elephant. Then from there, then you can say, this room has no elephant. If you have no idea elephant, so then so that's why the meditation on emptiness must begin with the self, experience of self. That's the first one. Okay. So solgwe minju de sogen rang. Then here, this is Changja Rinpoche, the one of the Tibetan masters, Changcha. So Changja Rinpoche. He said that this is the last part of the first point analysis. Okay, so guys, I find out this quite interesting. Tsogwe minju de, tsogwe minju, tsol means search. No need to search. What we are searching self. So this is kind of interesting quotation. It's a very interesting statement. No need to search. Sogen is you are the one who is searching. You are the one who is searching. So how they say in the book in English. No need to search. You are the one who is searching. Make sense?
You do not have to search for it. The thing, O seeker, is within you.
Yeah, that's probably much better translations. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And so now we move to the second point analysis. So Chaba ne, there's a point. Ne means point. Now the Chaba, how they translate in English, the second point should be titled there.
Determining the full set of possibilities
Four set of possibilities.
Yeah, or else this one says, according to Lama Yeshe, determining that a truly existent self must be either identical with the aggregates or separate from them.
There's more like explanation. So what's the title? There's no title. There's more like explanation.
There's no title. This is just from the glossary. But in Pabonka Rinpoche says, determining the full set of possibilities.
Four number.
Full.
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 Oh, full. Okay. First one, how they translate? First one. First point.
Oh, Pabonka Rinpoche?
Yeah, in Labrim, the Liberation Power.
Okay, this one.
First point. Tibetan words much easier. So English, there's too many words.
What is to be refuted? What is to be refuted or negated?
Should be like the English. You can make it short because now, like Tibetan say "gajang ngebe ne, gajang ngebe ne, chabang ngebe ne, ne." There's a point. Gajang ngebe ne, chabang ngebe ne. That's it. So possibility, like full possibility.
Yes, the full set of possibilities.
Yeah. Does it make sense? Huh? Make sense? Oh, that's good. So then I don't need to explain. So we'll move to the third point. This is quite, so little see now. Second, the second point, out of 4 points. The second point, Chaba, there's like full possibilities. So Chaba probably is like this is very philosophical term. So example, if something is like this, let's say there's two circles, circle A and circle B. If something is circle A, it has to be circle B. If something is in circle B, it has to be circle A. What do you call that? Possibility? But you don't know.
The Venn diagram. Yeah. But not if they overlap. No, do they have to overlap? Everything or whatever. No, they don't have.
Yeah, everything in A equals everything in the B. What do you call like?
Yeah.
I mean, we just call it a possibility.
Or you learn Tibetan, or you find better.
But you're just saying everything in A, like if they're all numbers in A and they're all numbers in B, they're all numbers. Is that an example?
Yeah. So let's say product, and impermanent. How many possibilities between impermanent and product? How many possibilities? Usually there are 4 possibilities between product and prayer will. How many possibilities? Something that's product, that's not prayer will, 1 possibility. So that's what this all the possibilities, the things that's what's all about. Anyway, so not going to create more headaches. So it's but that's a little bit different. Okay, so anyway, what's called like full possibilities.
Determining the full set of possibilities.
Yeah, full set of possibilities. See if I read a little bit, then explain, give you a little more explanation, then see if that makes sense. So in Tibetan, the word chaba is very clear. What it means is really clear. Chaba. Tedangar sheba shiji gaji tunji means like meaning, generalities. Means like mental image. That's what it means. The way they translate in the English called meaning, generality. So basically like mental image. You see something, then like after when you go back home, then you should remember that mental image. It's not the real object, but it's kind of like similar to the object. Then Tetanga Shabashin Gaji Tunji Chungne Longo Lamji Shaban Nasa. Tinding and Jelinjis not the Rashi to know Dashi. So this is like after once you manage to identify inherent self that's like absolute independent concrete, not the self or wants to eat or wants to go, not like that. One self does exist, the self that we experience when when our moods goes up and down. During that time, that self is something concrete. So that is very, very, it's almost like water and the milk all mixed together. It's both there, but you can't distinguish, you can't say how much milk, how much water, it's all mixed. So like that, we experience self that exists, and we experience self that does not exist at all. So that's the one we hold so tightly on. So that's right from the beginning. It's a mistake. It's not just mistake, it's a big mistake. So after once you manage to identify the object of negations, in this case inherent self, okay, so independent self. No, unmistakenly, you can't just say unmistakenly once you identify. Longo lamji chabana tindeng anzo lenji suye ngade rangji tuna. So that is like now independent self. Self does not depend on body and aggregate, does not depend on mind. It's just independent self. So that self, usually self is not independent, it's dependent, In Buddhism, everything is dependent, there's no independent. So therefore, Buddhism has problem accepting creator, not because we don't like other religious theories, it's not nothing to do with that. Because of emptiness, there's a big problem accepting, all has been created by somebody else. Buddhism is about karma, and it's about karma and emptiness. That particular I, that specific I, if that is like inherent existence. So then, dashi pungbo. Dashi means like base. You call prayer well. This is the base that you call prayer well. This is the base that you call gishigelek. So this is basically base. And in this case, the base is like aggregate, 5 aggregate. 5 aggregate. That's where you label, then you become. When you are born, you are nobody. So then your parent decide to call you Stephanie. So then you become Stephanie. Before that, you are not Stephanie. So then everything become like that, It's somebody's label. So that's how things come to existence, call. It's just label. Not like right from the beginning somebody become like Stephanie. It's not like that. Somebody has to call Stephanie. So and probably based on the cause and the conditions, like something to do with the lineage of the family, something to do with the monastery, there's something importance of your teachers, then you give the half of their name, or it's a difference, of the different way of labeling things. That if you manage to identify that inherent self through doing meditation based on the first point analysis, that means you are investigating your experience of self, and slowly you are able to distinguish oneself. The conventional self does exist, but the inherent self does not exist. So eventually then you are managed to separate them, differentiate them. Then after that particular self, the mind that grasping so tightly on that self, if that self is inherent existence. So that's what it means. Dashi, if that self is inherent existence, then dashi pungpo tang. So now the the way to first you have to learn the second point analysis. So then way to meditate on that. So then that particular self, inherent self, is it one with the aggregate, or is it different than aggregate? Make sense? So what do you think? You think this is going to help you to cut the root of samsara? Huh? Do you ever wonder why we are doing this? Huh? Okay, so now let me go like dashi base, pungpo aggregate, not necessarily physical body. Body doesn't mean physical body, in this case, body is aggregate, 5 aggregates. So it has to be one with aggregate, or it has to be different than aggregate. There's no third possibilities. There's only 2 possibilities. It has to be one, or it has to be different. There's no third possibility, possibilities. Okay. So now, what this kind of analysis, what it does is like, that object, it doesn't exist. Basically, it doesn't. That's what you're trying to prove. So now I am able to distinguish between conventional self and inherent self. So I see now clearly, quite clearly. I spent so much time there. Now I see experience. I have just 2 different experiences. One experience of self that exists, but one experience of self that is totally wrong. So then after that, how you experience that self, something concrete, absolute, inherent, that is object of negations. So that, if that one exists, it has to be one with the aggregate, 5 aggregate. Aggregate means there's 5 aggregate. It has to be one with that, or it has to be different, separate or different. Is showing that way to how one should analyze. Okay. There's no third possibility. It doesn't exist at all. Third possibility doesn't exist at all. That applies everything. Anything that exists, it has to be one or more than one. There's no third possibilities. This is one, this is 2. So it has to be one or more than one, right? Is that true? If anything that exists, it has to be one or more than one. Is that correct? Can you show something that's not one or more than one? Can you show anything? Yeah. Yeah, so there's no, then addition to that. So just forget about inherent. Anything that exists, convention exists, it has to be one or more than one. Can you show anything that's not one or more than one? Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. So that's really good. But no, you are not going to find. There's none. So no, so you can't find. It has to be one, or it's like has to be one and more. So similarly, that same logic applies. If something that exists inherently, you follow the same logic. It has to be same logic. It has to be one with the base or different base. So that's how you analyze. After once you find out the object of negation, so then you now try to really prove that it not exist. If it exists, it has to be one with the aggregate. Why? Because aggregate is the base. That's where you label. Like that's what you call, based on that's how you identify. Oh, Steve. So if you just see her hand, you can't say, oh, Steve. You can take anybody. It could be anybody's hand. You can say, like more likely here on the face. That's where kind of you label, call. Like that. Okay, so there's no third possibility at all. Then generally speaking, if anything that exists, that's why I brought this up, it has to be one or more than one. There's no third possibility. So if that's the case in general, then particular in this case, apply the same logic. Chila teda chaba tuna cheza demba yona dembe chida tuma kardo yoga bi chaba ta jebe tinde nga de yechinji pumbo da jitu chida tade kan we mindu so now that particular self, inherent self, used to think, oh, that exists, not just exists and then holding so tightly on that. So then that's what is called iron cage. Basically, we are caged in there. We are caged in that, like self-grasping mind. So now that inherent self, inherent self. I'm not going to repeat all the long sentence again. I just call it inherent self, that object of negations. So now it is inherently one with aggregate or inherently separate. Why? Because you have to say inherent because that is inherent existence. You have to say it inherently one with the 5 aggregate or is inherently separate with the 5 aggregate. No matter which way you go, there's problems. Therefore, eventually, based on the second point analysis, then you figure it out that I does not exist. So, one step closer to emptiness, seeing emptiness. One step closer to seeing emptiness, okay? What are the problems? I'm going to say it's one with the 5 aggregate. What is the problem? That's why in monastery we debate. You can't just accept what it says. You have to debate. You have to use your mind, your brain. Teni kangru la mechi komeba tajo nyandu ngeba tembani chabang ibines. So now after doing that analysis, then you find out, oh, so that inherent existence is not really one with the aggregate, then there's all this problem I have to answer. Basically, there's no answer. If I say different, so there's all kinds of problems. I have no answers. Therefore, now this inherent self is definitely doesn't exist at all. So then there's the conclusion of second point in the analysis. Okay, second point analysis.
Geshe-la, I have a question.
Oh.
So when Steve said that she could have half an apple, because everything has to be one or more than one, so then there would be 2 halves, right? So then there would be more than one. There would be 2 halves. So then there would be more than one.
Yeah. Then?
That's what I mean. So that proves that you can only have one or more than one.
Yeah.
You can't have a half because half is two parts.
Right.
So that's more than one. More than one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So even if you, even if you took an object, and you broke it down into smaller pieces, then it just becomes more than one.
Yeah. Then eventually, like our eye cannot see the atoms. So that's why the quantum physics, they are big problems. Like when it comes down, they analyze and they say, oh, now nothing exists. So that's called nihilism. Nagarjuna, the Indian Pandit Nagarjuna, his theory of emptiness began from there. No, things do exist. So then that's called nihilism. That's called middle way, free from two extreme view. One is nearly or nothing exists. One is like just exaggerate, superimpose. So quantum physics, so there's risk they are about to fall into nihilism. That when you analyze, nothing exists. That's not true. That's called nihilism. Huh? Samula, what's your question?
I was just wondering if that was correct.
I think that's correct. So, yeah, so, one and more than one doesn't mean half and full. So it's kind of, I find out kind of interesting. All of a sudden, brain can't think right away, then you just like, that eventually, eventually there is one. So full, one doesn't mean full and half. It's just one, it's just one. So in the monastery, when you debate, you have to be very sharp. All kind of questions throws you from all kind of people, 10, 11 people constantly bombarding on you questions. You have to be very alert. Not just that, you have to remember material by heart. Monastery not allowed to bring in the class. No books allows. Everybody debate by heart. You just need to remember all the material by heart. Oh yeah. So now this is the conclusion of second point analysis. After you identify that object, that is something inherent. So then you use this logic. Then conclusions. Oh, now that doesn't exist at all. That's conclusions. Okay. So now now the third point and the fourth point, they're kind of like as a separate. Separate is already covered a little bit in the second point analysis. Then here, third point analysis, now it's like third point analysis, now you are more focused on individual part. If that self, inherent self, is one with the aggregate, what's the problems? Now there's the third point analysis. If it's like different than aggregate, what's the problem? That's the fourth point analysis. That's how the meditation on emptiness has been done throughout the history. 2000, according to Tibetan Buddhism, almost now 2,500 years ago, when Shakyamuni Buddha was born in India. Since then, people have been studying the Buddhism, so there are a lot of people probably managed to see emptiness in India, from Tibet, so all the Indian masters, they went to Tibet, established, brought the Buddhism in Tibet. So now, Tibetan people kept that very well, so entire teaching, the Buddha taught entire teaching is translated in Tibetan, hundreds years ago, still the same. We have entire teaching still very much preserved. So now, in India, people start to learn Buddhism, not just Buddhism by faith, or by tradition or by culture, really Buddhism by knowledge. So now the Tibetans are contributing back to India. So there's all the texts is already translated from Sanskrit to Tibetan. A lot of people went to India, studied Sanskrit years and years, many years, then they translated. So still now in India, there's few scholars, they know Sanskrit very well. When they see the Tibetan text, they are amazed, how accurately they've been translated, so especially the teaching on emptiness. So some of the Nagarjuna texts that still exist in Sanskrit, in some kind of like library in like Patna, somewhere there, so there are a lot of research been done. So now anyway, third point analysis. So the language now more focusing on, if I say, if I say, or somebody say, or if I think, or if somebody else thinks, oh, this self is one with aggregate, inherently one with aggregate. What is the problem? So then, Sumba Dembe Chita ne. So that one's a little bit longer, but compared to the first 2 points. Guardian needs to salt up this. The guardian needs to salt up this. First, what do you do? First, we have to bring this experience of that concrete self. You have to bring this up. Or just imagine just somebody screaming at you, yelling at you. Just whatever ways that you can bring it up. This experience you have to imagine. You have to visualize. So once you bring that up, Dada Pungbo Ni, Da self, Pungbo aggregate, Dada Pungbo Ni Churwa, Nangzu Tetar, continue to be Chigina, Lo Tade, Lola Tade Najumebata. So if they are inherently, first problem, if they are inherently one, then that means we don't see. When we see, we don't see difference between aggregate and self. But that's not the case. We do see difference between aggregate and self. When you see the feeling, or feeling good, or feeling not good, or feeling nothing, or that, when we focus on the feeling, and we know there's no self, right? We do see difference between aggregate and self. If they are inherently one, it's impossible. You can see them separate. That's not going to happen, because inherently one means they are like inseparable. Inherently one means inseparable. Inherently different means like this. Mike and prayer, there's no relationship. There's just wood. This is a piece of plastic. There's no, like cow and horse. They're different, absolutely different like that. So the first one, Davuni Nangzu Teta Tundini Tribichi, if the self and the aggregate inherently one, so that means that means Lola Tade do not, then you can see them different. Make sense? You cannot see, you are not able to see them different, because they are one, not just one, inseparably one. See, if you say this mic and this prayer is inseparable, what that means? Exactly, you couldn't tell. Similarly, if you say the self and the aggregate inherently one means inseparable, then you can't tell different.
But when you're talking about the feelings are an aggregate.
Aggregate, right.
So when you're saying we can see the separation of the self and the aggregates, because we would say she's feeling something.
Yeah, generally speaking, there are differences, right?
What is?
Feeling and self.
Well, feeling is one of the aggregates. So if we're saying, I thought you were saying to see the difference between the self and the aggregates, you would look at the feeling. But the feeling is one of the aggregates.
I just give you example. Feeling, there's one of the aggregates, there's 5 aggregates, feeling is one of them, second one of them.
Right.
So then self, do you see difference?
No.
Huh?
I'm just going to say no. I mean, if you said she's feeling something, so then you're talking about her feelings being connected.
Come on, tell the truth. Do you see difference?
I don't understand how that helps me separate the self from the aggregates.
No. Do you see difference between self and feeling? Yeah, it's very obvious. I am not feeling good. That they're separate. I am not feeling good. Oh, my feeling is hurt.
Well, yeah, I can see each aggregate is not the entire self, right? But all of those aggregates together are the self.
What do you mean entire self?
The label self goes with all of those aggregates. that collection of aggregates,
Mm.
which includes feelings and your body. You know, if you said, my body is sore, I wouldn't see that body as somebody else's body. So yes, I know that the self
Now,
has...
question is, do you see difference, Steve? When you say my body, you see difference between you and your body?
I see that it's not the entire package, yes.
Huh?
I see that it's not the entire self, yes. But I don't see that there is somebody else's body.
Do you see difference between you and your aggregate?
Not steep and her aggregates, no.
Huh?
Not steep. The label steep and her aggregates, I don't see a difference. I see a difference between the...
Oh, you already saw emptiness. Huh? You know, like my hand. My refers to self. My hand, that's clearly distinguished. When we say verbally, when we say there's clear distinguish. Right? Huh?
I'm not saying that the hand is the entire self. I'm just saying that all of those different things that make up self, all of those different aggregates that we could list, that self is...
So now inherent self, if there's like one, inherently one with the aggregate, you can't really say my hand, but there's no difference between me and hand, self and hand. That's all one, inseparable.
Maybe like your hand is sad.
Huh?
Your hand isn't sad.
Maybe in America your hand is sad. Not in Asia, we don't say my hand is sad.
Geshe, if your hand is cut off, that would be an example. Then you'd think that's not me anymore,
Mm.
and that's an aggregate. That's one of the aggregates.
But you know, don't need to cut off your hand.
No, no, no. Or if you get old.
Don't get that. No, do you get the idea? Do you get the idea? But you know, like debate is good, you know, so that's why in monastery we debate. When the tourists they came, they thought we are practicing Kung Fu. But we are not practicing Kung Fu, we are just, you know, that's how we debate. You know, asking back and forth, question and answer. Mm. But you understood? Yeah, you know, there's so much you can say in word when it comes down to emptiness. There's so much you can say. Same when it comes to experience. There's so much word you can express experience. There's limited, you know. Experiencing something, then expressing that in the word. 100% impossible, you know. How you explain? So another point here, inherent self. If there's inherently one with aggregate, that means it's like one piece. That's the problem. Then now that's that problem, okay, according to the instructions. First of all, the problem is you can't see, you as a person cannot see difference between aggregate and self. You cannot see. You know, like or body and self. You know, so your body might get hurt a little bit here, the cut. At the same time, you could say, I'm very happy. Right? Great practitioners, when they get sick, their mind is filled with joy. You know, so there's no even tiny bit of negative impact on their mind. They're absolutely fine. Normal people, you know, probably there's a lot of impact. But the first argument, how is the argument? First argument is you cannot see difference between self and aggregate. That's first argument you have to answer. That's first argument, no? Yewa tade damage chicken, no? Then it's going to be like one piece rather than 5 aggregate self. There's not going to be 5. There's going to be just one. No? Ti juzeji ngo chiklan doba tade nangzo ta nesu midim batabo kunzobchi. So now this is becoming a little bit more difficult here. Ti juze means reasons. No reasons. So ngochik, one in nature, one nature, true truth, ultimate truth, conventional truth. Same like one coin, two sides. Actually, same coin, two sides. Two side, what we decide to call. Oh, the way they translate it, my English is not that good, so then sometimes they translate it, they translate attribute, different attribute. I don't know what that really means. So the characteristic, that makes sense. They're like one in nature, different characteristic. One in nature. Same like one coin, two sides, different characteristic. Teach using ngochik means one in nature, okay? Dobata the different characteristic. Dobata the but now we know the nature midimatabu kunzoji jinsu jija. Demba to what in the miruje. What is that? Maybe Mike got tired, me talking, tired of hearing about emptiness last couple of weeks. Oh, yeah, that was, yeah. I think now it's been quiet. Oh. This is what you learn about that, but now to the nature meeting, but double concept. Now, so where it appears, the things that appears. Nature, the way that where they exist, So all the conventional realities, the ultimate reality refers to emptiness, the true truth. Conventional truth, ultimate truth. Conventional truth is all these objects, all objects. These are where it appears to ordinary people's mind, in front of ordinary people's mind, where it appears and the way they exist is different. That's called, it's like illusion, so like dream. No dream, but it's like illusion. So true truth, every object is true truth. Conventional, the ultimate nature is empty of inherent existence. So this is like, generally speaking, all the conventional reality, there's a way it appears, the way it exists is different. But here, once you said inherent self inherently exists, that explanation doesn't apply to that, doesn't apply because you say it inherently exists. Maybe I should not explain that, maybe it'll create more confusions. Right? That's creating more confusions. Kunzob, conventional realities. Where it appears, the way it exists is different. That's called conventional truth. It's not ultimately truth. Ultimate truth, where it appears, the way it exists is the same. That's called ultimate truth. What is that? Emptiness. Emptiness, when it appears to you through meditation, it appears from free of independent existence. How it exists, that's how it exists. Make sense? Make sense? That's called ultimate truth. This is like conventional truth. It's not ultimate truth because this is like illusion. It's like illusions. It appears in certain way. It appears. We don't necessarily think, oh, this used to be tree. Then somebody cut it down. Then it become lumber. Then after that, some professional carpenter, like make this. Then there's somebody paint this. Then there's somebody call this prayer wheel. Now that's how you prayer wheel. That's how things become. But for us, if something is right from there, coming out like prayer. That's mistake. So therefore, once people see emptiness, they don't take anything seriously. For them, everything is like illusion. Everything's like illusion, like dream. Nothing is serious. Nothing, even the death is not something serious. It's just illusions. Like, not illusion. It's like illusions. There's a very big difference. It's not illusion. It's real, but it's like illusion. So then then you become really hippie, true hippie, not just like hippie like long hair, long beard, not like that. Then you become true hippie because everything you see is like illusion. It's not there's nothing serious. Nothing is, even the death is like illusion. So Milarepa, Milarepa. If inherent existing object, this thing doesn't apply. It doesn't apply because they are not dependent. They are independent. Nanzu da nezu tungus, nanzu nezu tungus, nanzu nezu tungus. Teta na da ken lamba tumedu juden, da ki pungbo shi juzi, pungbi pungbo tangs. Da ki da ji juba da chimedu juven, da tan da ki pungbo shi juba tumedu. So then you are saying, oh now, in the self that I identify through meditations, so there's like inherent self. So now that, if that become one with aggregate, see, one with aggregate, there's fast, things, one with aggregate. Dagi pungboshi joji, pungbi pungbo, dagi dashi joba, the chime juzo. No, it does require some thinking. You can't just, it doesn't make sense. Monastery, you spend months and months. We go everyday class, debate courtyard, every day, 5 to 6 hour debate, same subject, couple of months. Still, kind of get confused. But here, please don't expect to know just for one class, once a week. This is hard, So then you go home, then read, then spend some time and think. If you believe, if you really believe this is the way to cut the root of samsara, so then I think it's worth it to spend some time. So now this, like Demba Trouble, there's not dark ken lamba tumidu, dark ken lamba tumidu. And dark ken lamba tumidu. So then what is saying here, like, it's kind of like meaningless to talk about self. When you think inherent self is one with the aggregate, so then there's not much meaning to talk about self. Saying self is like no different than saying aggregate or body. There's no difference, because they are one. Do you understand? Petty. Oh yeah. There's no dark lambo to Judaism, no dark lambo to like accepting self. It's kind of like just can't become like joke or just meaningless. When you say my body, there's no difference between saying body and my body. There's no difference. There's no difference because whatever you refer to my, there's like one with the body. There's no difference. My body, saying my body verbally, in the word, my body, saying my body or body, there's no difference. It's pretty much same. Understand? Oh yeah. Then dagi jobat chim like body, my, saying my or body, not that much difference. So that's pretty much same. There's no text called Tsawa Sherab. That text is composed by Nagarjuna, Indian master Nagarjuna, Tsawa Sherab. He composed 6 texts. This is one of them. All from beginning to end, it's all talks about emptiness. It is like chapter 29 chapter. It has 29 chapters. So whenever his one is teach the guide to Buddhist way of life, so he combined that with this text called Savasharab. I think like chapter number 24, it talks about the will of life. Will of life. We have the painting outside. That Nagarjuna talks about that in the chapter number chapter 24. If not 24, maybe 26, somewhere there, between one of those, 24, 26. Sashi is a Savasharab. So in English, what is it called? Sanskrit is called Mula Madhyamanga, something. In Sanskrit, I don't remember. In Sanskrit, there's Mula. The Nagarjuna wrote six texts. Savasharab. You want me to look? Huh?
Is it the root of wisdom?
Yeah, root of wisdom. Savasharab. The root of wisdom.
That's what it says in here.
That's what it said there.
That's yes. In this third point, Pabhaka Rinpoche refers to Nagarjuna's root of wisdom.
Yeah. So anyway, there's like he composed six texts. That's one of them. Okay, all from beginning to end, all about talks about emptiness. Savasharab. Madhyamanga Mula something in Sanskrit. So if you wondering, you can look up now. You can go to Google. Tibet, there's no Google. In my monastery, there's no Google. So basically, you have to look at the text. So here, it's very easy. You can just go. Make sure that you find the right things, right information. Savasharab. Now, Lama Tsongkhapa, the Pabhaka Rinpoche is quoting like Nagarjuna text. So this is also a very unique way of writing a book in Tibetan culture, Tibetan traditions. You quote. When you look at that book, you will find exactly there. That means person didn't just made it up. Everything he said, it goes. Then eventually in here, somewhere here, the Buddha's teaching, the entire Buddha's teaching in Tibetans. So when you open one of them, you will find there. So then there's no further to go. So that's why they quote. Reason they quote, they found somewhere. Then they all their talk is based. Beginning of the water has to link to the snow or glacier. Similarly, Buddhism teaching has to link all the way to Shakyamuni Buddha. Otherwise, you can't just make it up. And Tibet in particular is very strict. You can't just, there's rules. So when you write a book, that's Savasharab. Anyway, Savasharab is Nyewa lemba mato be dayu mayi chebe se nyewa lenyi dayi na chuji dani mebayi shie sungpa tas. So very, very difficult, even in Tibetan. So that's why there's commentaries. Then the commentaries, people used to understand when they read the root text, they understood. Now, after many years, people have no idea what Nagarjuna is talking about. Somebody write commentaries. Then they kind of learn through commentary, then to learn this root text. So the commentaries become problems, then somebody wrote another commentaries, then the commentaries. So, Nyewa lemba mato be dayu mayi chebe se, dayu nyewa lemba mato be nyewa lenyi dayi na chuji dani mebayi she sungbata. What Nagarjuna said, nyewa lemba means this aggregate. Nyelenji Pumba's 5 aggregate. So Nagarjuna is saying there is no self independent from aggregate. Why? Because self is level on aggregate. The base, the aggregate are the basis for the self. That's where you call, you level. Nyalema matabe dayu mayi chebe says, dayu mayi chebe says. Nyawa lenyi dayu. If you saying aggregate is self, in this case you are saying that because inherent self is inherently one with aggregate, then basically you are saying aggregate is self is aggregate. That's inherent, that's what you're saying. Nyawa lenyi dayu na chuji dani mebayi. If the aggregates are self, then there will be no self. See, if aggregates is self, there will be no self at all. Or there will be 5 self. So one is hard enough to take care. So now you have 5 of them. So there is going to be nightmare. One is hard enough to deal with. Understood? There's Nagarjuna, the Indian master. Shesumanda Nyawa Lenje Pumbongale Shimbi Nyawa Limbe Dameba Junje. There will be problems. Nyawa Lenje Pumbongale Shimbi Nyawa Limbe Dameba Junje. There will be problem that self is the one who has the aggregate is the result of the karma, so practicing pure ethics is the main cause of human life. So then wealth, good looking, all the possession has been protected, so word has even just one word is so powerful, everybody listen, all of that is like caused by different things. Wealth caused by generosity, practice generosity, then it brings more wealth. Practicing patience, then you become good looking, and doing things happily, you will have calm mind, peaceful mind. Protecting people's possessions, and your possession will be protected. There's many everything. The karma is very, very complex. Everything. So the word, some people they say one word is it means so powerful. Same word somebody say it means nothing, like that. So it all has different cause. Okay. There's particular text called Le Jazaje. It talks all about karma. So then when you read that text, everything has different cause. So respecting other people's, then this life will be respected wherever you go. And all of the, yes.
Can I ask you a question about the aggregates that you talked about before?
Okay, going back to aggregate,
Oh, right before the karma, you were
Yeah.
saying that the aggregates are the base for the label self. That without the aggregates, you cannot have the label self.
Yeah.
Right? But there's a difference between the self is dependent upon the aggregates.
Exactly right.
But there's a difference between that and saying that the self is the aggregates. You just said if the self is the aggregates, there'll be no self.
There'll be no self.
And can you just say one more sentence?
One more sentence.
Like
There will be no self.
Why?
Why?
If the self is dependent upon, I know there's a difference, but I just would love to hear
If
what
the
you
self
have to
is
say.
aggregate, then there will be no self.
But what's the difference between the self being dependent upon the aggregates and the self not being the same as the aggregates? Is it that when the aggregates dissolve, the self moves on to another set of aggregates, and so therefore...
Exactly right. The self is the one who has received the aggregate, right? Received the aggregate.
But you could say the self labeled steep is, well, the self that labeled steep is not going to exist after these aggregates dissolve. So that self is not going to move on. The self-labeled Stephanie Smith is not going to move on after these aggregates
Steep,
dissolve.
I'm not, it's that probably, steep self will move on. The probably steep is American, blonde hair, so I don't think you'll carry the blonde hair.
I got blonde hair.
Huh? Or is it blonde or yellow? I'm not sure. Huh?
Okay, it doesn't matter.
What is this? What color? Brown? Oh, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, but I could be bald and it'd still be. So
let's say somebody has mustache, maybe. Yeah. So I don't think you will. So that's very good. But I don't think steep self moves on. Do steep moves on?
I don't expect to, but
But this life you become American. You are American. So and self that's self that is I say, associate with this life, but will not move on. But the self, that's one that continues from life after life, that kind of moves on.
Right.
Mm.
Mhm.
So now, Steve, what's your question?
No, that helps. That's I'm just trying to help differentiate between
Uh-huh.
the self dependent on the labels
Mm.
and the self dependent on the aggregate and the self that's not the aggregate. There's
Mm.
like this big but also subtle difference between those two statements. I was just trying to
Okay, good, wonderful. That's very good.
make sure I understood that.
So, nyawan lenje pumbonga le shime nyawan lenje dame wa juice. So now the first problem is you cannot see difference between self and aggregate. If you say they are same, that's the first problem. So first argument problem. The second one, then there will be no receiver. Receiver in this case is self receives, precious human life. Sometimes you're born in like Deva realms, celestial realms. So sometimes you're born in like different human realms. Like there are 4 different human realms. We are one of them, but there are 3 other human realms. They're there. Doesn't mean we don't see them. Then it doesn't mean they're not there. Maybe eventually scientists will find them. Sometimes I was wondering, maybe like Ethiopia or maybe South Africa, maybe they're one of them. I'm not sure. One human realm, there, animal, herd, how is it? What does herd mean? Oh no, like a cow and ox. So in that realm, human realm, these are the one of the most important possessions. Noob palangche, noob, west, not the west over here. No, you have no. Probably a lot of people even don't see the cows. So anyway, so there are 4 different human realms. We are one of them. It says some of them has like people are looks like made out of butter. They call butter people. And some realms they only have 1 leg rather than 2 legs. When you go there, they probably call us animals. Here in our realm, 4 legs we call animals. There, 2 legs and 4 legs, everything animals. Only has 1 leg, called use. So there are, according to text, there are 4 different types of human realms. We are one of them. So anyway, so now the second problem is like basically there will be no self who receives aggregates. There will be no self. If you say they are one, the aggregate is the one you receive based on your karma. Whom is receiving their self? Now in this case, there's no difference. Self means aggregate means self. Self. Aggregate do cease when we die. But self continues. 2 arguments. But you read the liberation in the palm of your hand. In that, the text is already translated. So if you're interested, just please read that. So then if you don't understand, write down question, they put it here, then I will try all my best, okay, to answer. Nyewan lembo pumbunga le shimi nyewan lembo dame wa ju so. There will be no selves. There's like not inherently different, but different. Self and the aggregate, they are different. Not inherently different. Inherently different means there's no relationship. Inherently one means inseparable. It's not like, oh, this is one with, naturally one with impermanent because this is impermanent. Not like that. Inherently one means inseparable. Inherently different means no relationship. So, self is not inherently different from the aggregate, but it's different. It's different. It's not self. It's different. So therefore, self receives aggregate. human aggregate, animal aggregate, celestial realm aggregate, all kind of aggregate. So there will be no receiver or self. Then so now see now also the program quoting another text composed by Indian master Chandakirti, entering into the middle way. Madhya Manga Avatara, in Sanskrit called Madhya Manga Avatara. Jubale Lembo Ranye Lechik Rik Minje Teta Nale Chebo Chinijur Shesumata so Nye Lembo Ranye Lechik Rik. No clue what I'm reading. Lembo Ranye Nyawalanja, that's like the Lamas explained there, so probably better to rely on the commentaries rather than try to figure it out based on the root text. Even hard to say, Lembo or Ranye Lenchik Ringu means Teda Nale Chebo Chinju Shesumada Nyawalanja, the Nyawal Lembo, Ludan, Lujin, Yalada, Yalajan Nam, Chitu Junes, Nyawalanja, Nyawal Lembo. Nyawalanja refers to aggregate. Something that you receive. Nyawal Lembabo, someone who receiver. Nyawal Lembabo, Lu body, Lujin, somebody means somebody who possess, body possessor. Lujin that refers to the people or beings. So Yangla limbs. Yangla somebody who has limb. You cannot say somebody who has limb, there's no distinguish between limb and limb possessor, all of that, because it's all one. Not just that, so there will be 5 self rather than 1 self because there are 5 aggregate. Because you are saying they are one of them, so they are same one, so there will be 5 aggregate. There's another problem. Dada Pumbo Chi in the Jubal Kalde Pumbo Dana teaches the Mayan Dana to the Mushesum Batas, Pumunga Dana Nawanjas, and a Dachlim of the Pumat. Or you could say there will be 5 self because there's 5 aggregate, or you can say there will be 1 aggregate because there's 1 self. Either way, or you end up saying there's only 1 aggregate, or you end up saying there will be 5 self. Why? Because that inherent self is inherently one with that. So now you read that and just drink nice coffee and then think, is that true? And just go through. That's how you meditate on emptiness. How you meditate on emptiness. Okay. The more powerful purification practice. Then I will probably finish this part now. There's then only 1 point left, probably. So there's almost a whole page. So I'm going to stop now. Whole page. I don't think we can finish it today. So I'm hoping we'll finish the 3rd point. Probably not. Maybe next Wednesday. Okay. Yeah. So today's Friday. Yeah. So everybody's looking for long sleep or maybe some kind of relaxations, so maybe better to end the class on time. Yeah.
Page 235, General Dedication Prayers. Gewadi nu dudak lama sangye dujurne dongwa chikya malupa de shok Chanchu sencha rinpoche ma ke panam ke gyuchi ke wanyam pa me paya gone gondu pelwa shok. Then go to 244 and 245 for the long life prayers. Gandhi rawe kodwe shinkam Lendan dewa malu shunwene Chere sigwan tenzing yatsoi Shapir site bardu tenjurchi Jonu ien ala wang shotu Awatare tsembara sopa Losan gewe de ton le pelcho Shasu gengyu lama soade Tutsu chanjin jangren gewe Tenzin kyong tewe kunzer do potse Shoksum kurwele mun tudu Padok so duje kundu japten shok Om taritu re soha 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 Om taritu re soha.
Yeah, thank you. Wonderful night and have a nice weekend.